How's it going? This is Brian from B's Music Shop, and I'm here at the Anaheim 2024 NAMM Show, and I'm here with Mitch from Third Man, one of the coolest booths at NAMM. Tesla, everything's going crazy. How's it going, Mitch?
Excellent, Brian. How are you doing?
Great, man. You guys got some new pedals out. You got a new kit out.
Yeah.
You have, I just saw maybe the coolest guitar at NAMM. Boy, I'd offend a lot of my friends by saying that, but I think I might be. That's pretty neat. So can you want to show us around what you brought?
Absolutely, man. We got a couple new things that we launched this year at NAMM. These are the two right here that we're highlighting. The first is this collaboration we did with Donner.
Yeah.
We got this echo, phaser, and distortion pedal all slammed into one tight little box. We're calling this the triple threat. And this guy, $99 out the door. So it's a lot of pedal for $100.
Yeah, I mean, it's just aimed at like anybody. You know,
Yep.
It's a thing that, you know, beginners can use. And
Totally.
That's super cool. Yeah, because so much of these, like we sell the triple graph. Oh my God, my brain's, it's the fourth day of NAMM. I am cheese. I am running on cheese whiz. But yeah, the triple graph, you know, it's a great pedal, more for the pro, more expensive.
Definitely.
This thing, you know, everybody can afford. So
Both of the things that we put out this year for NAMM are kind of a little bit of a departure from some of the other stuff that we've done, which is a little more boutique, a little more high-end, a little more professional, like you're talking about. Idea with this is kind of maybe a kid's putting his first board together, wants that space, consolidation, wants 3 effects in one. This is a great starting platform for that kind of thing. Or maybe you're doing a short run of dates, you don't want your full rig.
yeah,
This will kind of fill that gap.
The fly rig. They sometimes call these like
Exactly,
fly rigs or
exactly.
something. Yeah. So.
And then this second one that we launched, this is also in that vein of thinking.
This is so cool. We came over here and saw the kit a little bit.
So
but
you got to talk to Bill a little
I
bit.
talked to Bill off camera. He is so passionate about it. It's such a cool thing.
It's a great concept. So they had the idea of getting kids excited about soldering, working on their own gear. Maybe you're a little hesitant to crack open your own guitar if your input jack comes loose or something like that. So this
Can I
is
grab one of these that are open from over
Absolutely.
here while we're? Here, I'm gonna steal this for camera for a second. Thank you.
So we got this DIY fuzz kit. And
Oh, I'm sorry. This has a battery in it.
there we go. And this is just going to be a kind of classic 60s style fuzz pedal, but you get the satisfaction of soldering it yourself, learning something new, taking a stab at kind of that side of the music thing.
Absolutely. That's so cool. It's so cool to see something like this because, like, you know, one thing we do Third Man, both the records and the pedals. You know, we do a lot of pedals and fell into records, and it seems like you guys have always been really interested in like accessibility and like bringing these things to the masses. You know, like all the stuff, the price points have always been really good and aggressive to be available for everyone.
Right,
you know,
exactly.
and something like this just fits so well with that. It made sense to me. So
This kit's going to retail for $75, so we're sticking with that line of thinking. Keep it affordable, make it something that people want to take a try at. Don't be intimidated at soldering and making your own pedal.
yeah, I mean, you never do it till you do it, and I have a lot of friends. I mean, we're friends with Nick Diener from Michigan has Wonder Effects, and he talks about he got started his whole effects company from being locked in the house in 2020, and he never had ran a soldering iron. And 4 years later, he has a successful pedal business. You know, it's just sometimes you need that push.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, and once you do it, you realize it's not the end of the world. It's not surgery. Anybody can do it. It's like adjusting your truss rod for the first time. You're like a little worried you're going to crack something or break something. And once you
burn your fingers, but they'll heal.
That's,
You'll be fine.
builds character.
Yeah. I've had a lot of scars from soldered irons, but this is so cool. I'm so excited you guys came with us. I can't wait to build one. So, excuse me. I'm gonna set this back here. I don't know where Bill got it from, but thank you. Sorry. But yeah. So you want to show us? We brought. I mean, the booth is so cool. It's always so visually striking. You have you guys have been doing the MXR pedal. That's been doing pretty well, right?
Got the double down from MXR.
Yeah, that was last year. You guys came out with that.
Got that classic microamp circuitry.
Let's come around here, guys.
Got the classic microamp circuitry in it, but then we wanted to do something a little extra, and that's got a signal splitter out here, so you can go to 2 separate amps.
Yeah.
And so for Jack, he's been using the microamp for a long time, but then in the studio to be able to split that signal, really handy tool for him.
That's so awesome.
So that was a nice one to add to the fleet. And then kind of in order over here, we got the plasma coil. We partnered with Game Changer Audio on
I
that
love
one.
those guys. They're the coolest
So
dudes.
cool. Dressed in suits, looking sharp.
I always tell Tom that all I ever want is them to tell me everything that they threw out that they didn't build. I go, I love all the stuff you make. I want to know all the stories of the things you're like, nah, we can't do that. It's too crazy.
Ideas.
I was like, I want that. I want that in a book.
Well, I mean, then this one's...
And it's insane. Yeah, there's nothing like it.
A xenon tube shooting your signal. You're seeing it like electricity arc across. It's amazing to look at, but it's also super, super functional.
What are these? I didn't. Oh, these are little record boxes. Oh, those are so cool.
We got some 45 cases to just kind of add a little something extra.
And I forgot you guys did this with Teenage Engineering, right?
The pocket operator. Yeah. So this is the KO sequencer in there, sampler in there. If you use it correctly, man, you can like almost piece together an entire song with one of those little things.
Yeah, we've sold these. Teenage Engineering has such neat stuff. It's like affordable, and they build on like calculator frames, and they think it out so that like, yeah, they don't need a case. They do sell cases, but you really don't need them. It's so cool.
It's really, really cool. Those guys are way forward thinking. We're big fans of theirs.
As someone who grew up in the 80s when this was like a 3-button video game, you remember they had those little like $20 like punching games. It so is reminiscent of those in such a fun way.
It's amazing how much is packed into that too. It's so small. There's hardly anything to it, but inside it's so dense with features.
Yeah, they're so fun. Yeah, because I think like the chips like underneath the display, or I don't know, some magic in there. I don't know. People at Teenage Engineering are so cool. I saw they were doing that Rabbit R1. They're the guys, that new AI device.
Right.
They designed all the casing for that tech company. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Those are some guys that know how to make something that's fun to hold in your hands. They're so neat. But can I come back here and have you? Oh, there's an amp. What's this? This is like
This is a TERS amplifier. We did this with a company called Critter and Guitari. At the same time, we released this little kind of organelle keyboard thing that they make. Really, really cool, really quirky. It's got wooden keys.
Yeah.
And we thought that it paired kind of nicely with this little amp that they had, so we released that as well. It's kind of like a pig nose.
Yeah.
Kind of like something small, but really, really crunchy, really punchy sounds. So this just kind of rounds out the fleet. You got to have some sort of amplifier. Right?
Yeah, you guys are just getting a bunch of cool, interesting little pieces, you know. I like how it's not like you're assembling a whole line, but you're really making each piece deliberate and because you want it, not just to be like, oh, we need a cheap amp. You know, like It feels like you found something you thought was unique and fun and worked with it to make something cool.
Yeah, and that's I think all of these pedals. You know, Jack works with these companies. They collaborate. They come up with something that like he's going to put on his board. It's function first, right?
And it seems like it's a labor passion and interest and fun and not just like a money grab. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of that in this industry, and I never feel like any of this stuff is part of that. It's so interesting and fun, and you need everything. Like, I have no idea what's going to come next, right? Like, no clue.
Well, I mean,
you might not know.
Right. They come back next week. Who knows what they're cooking up?
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, it's all stuff that Jack's proud to put his name on. He's proud to like put in the hands of budding musicians, and this is all practical stuff. Like all of these pedals are on his board. They've been on the road. They've gone through the trials and the tests. Like they're the real deal.
That's so awesome. So I saw this back here just before you go. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to let you hold the microphone. Okay. So you can tell me what this is.
Okay.
I am pretty excited to hold this. I'm not going to lie. So this is the tour guitar.
This is the tour guitar from the last tour that Jack wrapped. This is the Telecaster. He's been working on this one. Anytime he starts a tour, by the time that tour is over, the guitar that he's playing is going to be different. He's always constantly changing things, adding things. So this one's got like a B bender in it, got a drop D mechanism. We've got an intermittent kill switch down there and that little joystick button.
Is scalloped, but just on the edge.
So we like to call it the shred zone. Right as you're getting towards the shred zone, the scallops get a little bit more pronounced.
Dude, this is so cool.
So between the B bender and the scallop frets, you can really get a lot of kind of thing.
And the powder coated white hardware is such a nice touch. It's just
pops.
So like. I always love how much like just all the stuff that he does and you guys do. It just has like such a good art eye. And it's just like it's awesome. Like,
and it plays really well.
Dude, this rips. Yeah, that is really cool, man. And a kill.
We got the kill switch on there, and then also when you have the triple graph, you got a kill switch down on your board too. So between the two, you
can fight Buckethead. I think that's what you're right. Is that what he is? He's training to fight Buckethead. Please tell me.
I mean, look at where that kill switch is.
I'm just saying. You know, like yellow and black, red and white, a battle for the ages.
Battle for the ages,
that's
man.
Gonna happen. I think it's gonna happen. Oh my God! Thank you so much for letting me play this. It's so fun. I think I remember it was. I think it was like SNL was the first time I ever saw that guitar. And I was like, I think it was on, and I saw it. I was like, oh my God, that's such a cool looking instrument.
It pops. It's really, really special.
That is so cool. Well, hey, Mitch, I super appreciate you taking the time to talk to us today. It was awesome.
My pleasure, man. Thanks for swinging by the booth. Have a great rest of the show.
Awesome.